Handlebar is actually much near to the pivot point of the wheel, then it is much easier to manage it. But when you have small undulations on the road, it is actually reflecting very much. You see that, yeah, my voice will be breaking again now. What's up YouTube, welcome back to another video, and today we have a very good, interesting and beautiful looking motorcycle, the Goan Classic 350. So this is a brand new launch from Royal Enfield, and I was very surprised to see that they are actually making many more variants of the J series engine, and this time I was like pretty confused as well when I saw this motorcycle for the first time. But when I started riding it, when I started getting the feedback about this motorcycle from the motorcycle as well as from the surroundings, I started living very happily with the motorcycle. So first of all, I have to give you a little bit of introduction that I've been riding this motorcycle for a bit longer. Then I given this motorcycle to one of my friends for a experience sharing. So this is kind of a user review from my side to just give a gist of it, what this is about. This is actually the Classic 350 in a different format, or in my words I will say that for those who understand things in non-vegetarian terms, the difference between a Goan Classic and a normal Classic 350 is that it is just like a Goan fish fry is different from a normal fish fry. Yeah, you heard it right. Basically same engine but hold together different feel, hold together different value of the motorcycle. So let's look into it a little more detail. So there are a lot of things which actually makes this motorcycle stand out from the Classic 350. First thing is the ape handlebar, a longer version of the handlebar. We are actually familiar with this kind of handlebar from the Harley Davidson riders. And another major thing that I see with the motorcycle is tubeless spokes. The first thing that we see with Royal Enfield on this J series engine. And actually it gets the headlights that we have seen with the Interceptors and the Meteor and all those things, all LEDs. And coming over here, the same Classic 350 tank but with a different paint job. And that RE thing actually looks so different to me in the sense I was actually caught by police once and he was claiming that this is a modified Royal Enfield. I mean, you look at that logo, I have never seen Royal Enfield doing something like that on stock. So the designs are simple. If you look at the color, designs are much simple, but it gives a different Goan vibe to the motorcycle, and rest of the things are more same. The 350 series engine, J series engine, and the exhaust is actually a little bit chopped off, and the sound is also a bit different, and the seat is much different on this motorcycle. It's a scooped up seat. There is a single seater variant available for this motorcycle which makes this a bobber. So there are no true bobbers in India right now, apart from the Triumph bobber that we have seen. Apart from that, there are no true bobbers. I don't really consider the Java bobber to be a bobber. If you have ridden that motorcycle, you understand the pain. Okay, and this one has an accessory of a rear seat, and the tail section looks very nice. In the sense it's altogether different design language. These mudguard and these things are actually fitted onto the swing arm, so that gives a whole different feel. And the tire again, tubeless spokes with that white color touch. Everything actually gives a different feel. So look wise, it's 100% different. As I mentioned, I was caught first claiming that this is a modified Royal Enfield by Bangalore cops. Then I showed the website and I was out from that situation, and many other times people were stopping me in the signal and asking which motorcycle this is. Many think that it's a modified Royal Enfield and wanted to know who did this job, and in a good way. Okay, and there are certain color variants available for this one, as you've seen, and my personal favorite are this color and the purple color, and I really love that purple color. I don't know. So what makes this motorcycle a bit stand out from the Classic 350 is obviously the tubeless spokes, and the second thing is you look at that handlebar. Now you have a longer pivot point from the road, so this is giving a whole together different riding stance to the motorcycle, and that seat is also different, and the foot pegs are coming like a cruiser. So this doesn't feel like a Classic 350 when we sit on the motorcycle, because longer one, so slow speeds maneuvering is little different and difficult as well, I have to say in that way. It's a low seat height, easy going motorcycle. So we'll just sit on the motorcycle and see the things a little closer. Very shorter motorcycle, very comfortable motorcycle, and also this is a typical Classic 350 view from this side. I don't really expect a lot of things from here. Key switch over here and a minimalistic dial. The tripometer is there, you can connect using the Royal Enfield app, and we have the odometer. Press the button over here, you'll see 2 trip meters, the time, gear position indicator, fuel level indicator, that's it. And this is the speedometer, and the max I have done 120 km. Easy and comfortable speed is 90 km on the highway. Coming out of the handlebar switches, this is the same switch that we have seen with the Interceptors and the latest edition motorcycles from Royal Enfield. And the gear lever and the brake lever is actually adjustable. It's a good thing. So here there is an info button where we can toggle few things in the dial. Here we have the pass switch, high beam and the low beam, indicator and the horn, and on the side we have the engine kill switch and the caution lamp. That's all. Very basic things, but done really well. The tank looks actually very good. So the seat is the second thing. I really feel that this looks very cool, but when it comes to functionality, I would say that that's not a great placement, because especially your tailbone might hit that Goan Classic logo. So without wasting much time, let's go for the ride. So we have a flat ground here, so you can see that I have completely planted foot on both sides. So that means it's a low seat height motorcycle. It does sounds like the normal Classic 350, but a little bit of grunty exhaust sound. Yeah, it sounds much similar to the other 350s. Obviously it's only an exhaust work which has been done by Royal Enfield on this motorcycle. Cannot expect altogether outcome out of it. So as you have seen, this motorcycle is not something that we really ride it like a sports motorcycle. So the engine feedback is easy, neat, clean pulling motorcycle, has got a lot of torque, decent power, and it's a 5-speed gearbox, so it really pulls in very smoothly. There is absolutely no vibration if you are actually taking it up in the right RPM. If you really open it, I can feel a little bit of vibration on the foot pegs. Otherwise it's much refined motorcycle, and the sweet spot on this motorcycle when it comes to this kind of a highway is 80 km. I tried my really best to get a top speed on the motorcycle, and I could manage 110 to 120. That's all. I think probably there will be some speedometer error as well on this motorcycle, so that's the best that we can do out of this engine. But otherwise it's an easy-going motorcycle. So the steering dynamics is a little different compared to all other motorcycles in the segment, because this is the first time Royal Enfield is featuring this kind of an ape handlebar. I'll tell you the logic how it works. So the point is, if handlebar is actually much near to the pivot point of the wheel, then it is much easier to manage. It is much easier to maneuver a motorcycle, especially when it is lighter. But when if it is heavier and you have a farther handlebar, the riding feedback is that you will have to put a little more pressure compared to the other motorcycles to maneuver it in slow speeds. But on high speeds it's okay, because you get this kind of a free hands, you know, you're absolutely relaxed. You don't have to put any amount of pressure on your body, I mean on your back or on your upper body, to sit on the motorcycle or steer on the motorcycle. So on the highway it's like very sweet, it goes smooth. But when it comes to city riding, it's a bit of a task initially to do that. But on the positive side, we have a very higher or tighter turning radius. That means we can easily turn it around. I won't say that it is easy turning, because it's a heavier motorcycle. We have taller handling stance. Since the turning radius is less, we can take a U-turn on this motorcycle much easier. So as you have heard, my voice was cutting very badly when I was going through that bad patch of road. So the suspension feedback is a little on the stiffer side. When you have good roads, you get good feedback and you roll like that. But when you have small undulations on the road, it is actually reflecting very much. You see that, yeah, my voice will be breaking again now. Especially the rear suspension is not so onto a comfortable side. But it's okay. I'll say that it's not hurting me so badly. It is just that it is not so comfortable ride. And also with this farther handlebar setup, we might have to be a little more cautious that we don't enter into this kind of area a little faster. But the braking is actually good. I really love the braking. This is the same braking that we have seen with the Classic 350. So the braking feedback is good. Disc brakes in both ends, and it is perfect and doing its job the best. And the footpeg is actually a little forward set. So the rider's triangle is a bit weird for somebody who's coming from a sports motorcycle point of view. But someone who's there, always there on a cruiser, won't find it much different, and they will feel a little more relaxed. So the seat has a scoop, and that is the place where you sit. And the difference is, if you have to ride this motorcycle for a longer period of time, this is not the best seat. It's not because of the cushioning of the seat, because your spinal cord is actually sitting straight. On a sports motorcycle, actually you put a little more lean angle so that you can use your core muscles to manage your weight when you're doing acceleration and braking. And actually on a sports motorcycle, you can use your thighs to hug the tank and get a little more feedback like that. So on this one, it's not possible. So your spinal cord is like this. You are putting all your weight to the lower part of your spinal cord and the associated muscles. So the advantages, you are actually sitting upright. Disadvantages, you are putting more load into your lower back. That means if you already have a history of lower back pain, I would say that this is not a great pick. You have to look for something which is a bit more sporty. Even Classic 350 is also fine. It is not a sporty motorcycle, but still it will be a little more comfortable for someone who has lower back pain. But on this one, the complete load is on the back, lower back. So if you want to ride it for a very, very long time, then this is not a good choice. But for sprints, this is absolutely good. In the morning, I was riding from Bangalore to my breakfast point. It was a very lovely morning. I saw the sunrise wholly. I didn't stop. It was pretty cold. It was, I think, even below 15 degrees Celsius, and it was very nice. I know that people from the north will be telling that 15 degrees is not a big thing, bro. But I'll say that in the south side, with this humidity, 15 degrees is more than enough for me. So the ride was very cool, but the only thing was, like, I started getting that slight pain on my lower back because of this completely upright riding posture. And also the foot pegs are forward set, so if you are riding inside city and if you're going in stop and go traffic, you have to use your core muscles there. Actually, you have to take your legs off from the pegs and keep it on the ground, and then put it back there whenever there is a slow moving traffic. So that kind of a thing will eventually tire you if you are running in bumper to bumper traffic. If you are going like this, it's not going to affect you at all, because now I am actually completely free. I have a completely free legs, free hands, just sitting casually like that. And I am someone who actually sits on the chair, and I like to keep my legs like that. So this kind of a foot peg is much comfortable. And the suspension, I said, is a little onto a stiffer side, but it's okay. And if you ask me if there are any heating issues, I didn't face much of a heating issue, but generally the 350cc has a little bit of heating issue, that too in summers if you are running in bumper to bumper traffic. Otherwise it's not a problem. And the pillion seat is not the best for the pillion, because the grab rail is there. It is okay to hold on, but not a great confidence inspiring seat, because it's a smaller seat, and you are actually sitting very near to your rider. So if you are like girlfriend, boyfriend, it might be comfortable. But if you are college going and somebody else is sitting behind you, or if you want to take your parents, I don't know whether you will be so comfortable sitting very close to your pillion. So the rider also may get a little uncomfortable if the pillion is onto a heavier side. Now this motorcycle has different variants of colors, so, and the price variants also change based on that. So it starts from 2.35 lakh ex-showroom, and I would say that it's a decent price. And I'm 100% sure that this model is not going to flop in India, because the youngsters of India right now are looking for flashy colors, and Royal Enfield is looking for that. Just look at the latest Shotgun 650. In first look I thought that somebody posted about a Kinder Joy in my feed in Instagram, and lately I realized that it's a new Shotgun, and I'm not kidding you, I really like that color. I never expected Royal Enfield to come up with that kind of a color. So Royal Enfield is playing on colors, graphics lately in a very high scale, and that they are nailing it really, really good, man. The color paint scheme, everything is so good on this motorcycle. So 100% that the youth will be liking this color. But the older generation who used to own the legacy Royal Enfields from 1990s or 2000s or 2010 won't be liking these colors. So then they can actually opt for normal Classic 350 and actually opt for this handlebar. But there will be some problem with that, because you have to extend your cable. So it's an additional thing. Or if you are not convinced with the latest colors, just buy the motorcycle and paint it whatever, that green color or the black color what you want. So that's my personal feedback on the colors and the pricing. And service interval is like once in 3,000 kilometers, and the feedback from owners are different for the service cost, because some people are paying as low as Oops. Oh, it just shook me completely. Yeah, some people were paying something like 1,000 rupees and some are paying like 3,000 rupees based on the part change. So the service cost varies from 1,000 rupees to 3,000 rupees, and the mileage figures are really good, because if you are riding in 60 to 80, probably you will be getting 35 kilometer or even more than that. If you are riding in full throttle, you will get a mileage of 30 kilometer per liter. That's good. And I don't know, like if you have seen my channel, especially when I ride sport motorcycle, you would have never seen this speed. 60 kilometers is half a gear or 1/4 of the first gear. So I am that kind of a guy who opens the throttle when it comes to a street motorcycle or a sports motorcycle. But you know, once I start riding this motorcycle, I'm in the space. I know that I'm riding a Royal Enfield. I want to be in this feedback. I want to be in this space. The motorcycle is comfortable in this space, and I'll say that the motorcycle is not unstable even at the top speed of 100 or 120. It is stable, but the thing is, there's no juice after 90 km per hour. It's a high torque, comparatively decent powered engine, so it doesn't have too much of things to do after that 80 km per hour. That's my personal feedback. So if you're someone who is actually looking for a city riding motorcycle, I'll say that it is not a great choice to buy compared to the Classic 350, but definitely it's a head turner. If you are an introvert, you have to be prepared for social drain, because more people will come to you and ask to you. And if you are in a city where there are a lot of cops who are interested in modified motorcycles, you will be stopped every now and then. You have to prove, or you have to get a letter from Royal Enfield that this is a stock motorcycle. So this motorcycle is that attractive. I'm coming to that point. On the riding front, as I said, that it's not so comfortable to ride in bumper to bumper traffic. But if your city rides are like what you see like this, like my highway rides, then it's comfortable. If it's rolling, it's comfortable. If it's slowly rolling, it's not so comfortable. The seating is not so good. Handlebar start feeling heavy after a certain point, but engine side it is okay. And if you are looking for a touring motorcycle, yeah, it's a decent pick, man. I mean, as a sports motorcyclist, I've been trained to tour on the most uncomfortable motorcycle, so this is way better than any of that. So touring on the motorcycle is not at all a big deal. And obviously, those who want to go to Ladakh or that kind of place and do some small stuff off-roading, I would say definitely Classic 350 will be a better choice than this. The advantage this motorcycle gives is the road presence. I don't know whether you need that kind of a road presence when you are on that kind of altitude. Most probably you're going for your solitude. So it's your choice to ride a little more comfortable motorcycle for off-road, or this kind of a ape handlebar motorcycle. This ape handlebar is not going to help you with off-roads. So that's my personal feedback about the motorcycle. This is what I told, that difference between a Classic 350 and a Goan 350 is that it's the same difference that we see with normal fish fry and a Goan fish fry. The base is same, but the flavor has given an entire view to this motorcycle. So I hope this video is helpful for you, and as always, show some love in the form of likes and comments. See you in the next video. Until then, bye bye. Yeah, let's pull it hard for some time. A little bit of vibration on the seat also now. Come on. It's a downhill, that's why I almost reached 120 that fast. Alright, bye guys.